Over the cash offer, aka no financing contingency exhibit. This is the exhibit you'll use if your clients are doing a cash offer. It's pretty simple, but there are some nuances to it, so I want to point those out to you. Okay, obviously you're going to put the offer date, address as usual, and you're going to say method of purchase, all cash purchase, or finance purchase with no financing contingency. And so that is an option people can do. You can also use whichever. If you're doing conventional loan, for example, and you have zero financing contingency, you can also use that form. Typically, this just allows someone to get a mortgage if they decide to not pay cash. But typically, most people are doing this as an all cash purchase. They have sufficient liquid assets to be able to do it for all cash. So they have no right to unilaterally extend the closing date for 8 days or reason for mortgage lender delay if they mark this all cash purchase. So just know that. If they mark the finance purchase with no financing contingency, they intend to obtain a mortgage financing to pay for all or portion of the sales price. However, this agreement should not be subject to finance contingency. So that's another way you can do it too. Verification of funds within X amount of days. I usually, put 1 day, maybe 3 days. But they realistically, if you're ever putting a cash offer in, you need to attach a copy of their ability to pay for the house. Because some agents won't even look at the offer if there's not a copy of the bank statement showing there's enough money in there to pay for the house. Then other than that, we're going to go down here. We still have appraisal. In addition to other rights of buyer set forth in this agreement shall or shall not be subject to the property appraising. And of course, you will mark whichever of those is the appropriate one. Selection of the appraiser. Now remember, if it's a cash deal, you pick the appraiser as the buyer's agent. So you're going to mark, does the buyer, the seller, or I don't know, another third party, which I'm not sure who that would be. Are they the ones who pick the appraiser? Typically, I'm going to pick the appraiser, or the buyer is going to pick the appraiser, and I'll help my clients with that and connect them with the buyer. The rights of buyer of the property does not appraise. If the appraisal formed accordance with this exhibit is for less than the purchase price of the property, the buyer shall have the right to request within X amount of days from the binding agreement date the seller to reduce the sales price of the property to a price not less than the appraisal price by submitting an amendment to sales price form. And that's pretty basic. The same thing happens with any other form of financing too. And then buyer initials and seller's will initial. And that's how it is. Hope that's helpful.